Alright everyone, welcome back to another video, and today what I have for everyone is my full review of the CMF Watch Pro, CMF by Nothing Watch Pro. So I've been using this watch for a good amount of time, and I feel like I've gathered all my thoughts and opinions on it, and that's what I'm going to share with everyone today in this full review. So hopefully by the end of this video, you guys and gals know if this watch is worth picking up. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into today's full review. Alright, now starting off, the first thing I want to talk about with everyone is the overall build quality and design of the CMF Watch Pro itself. And I gotta say, from a build quality and design standpoint, CMF has done a great job. Now, in regards to the build quality, this particular watch, the main unit, is built out of aluminum and AMOLED technology. So you got an aluminum housing with an AMOLED display up front. And I gotta say, in regards to the build quality, it is really good. Now, talking about the overall design, this is your pretty much typical square design here. Something akin to like a Maze Fit or a Maze Fit, or something akin to a square Apple Watch. So if you like square watches, you're gonna like this design here. And I have to say, I am a big fan of this design right here. So in regards to the overall build quality and design, I have to say it is really good indeed. Okay, now why is it really good, you may be wondering. If y'all are, return viewers to the channel, y'all know that if I really like something, then it gets that top-notch rating. So why is the build quality and design of the CMF Watch Pro really good? Why is it not top-notch? And I would say it's really good and not top-notch because of the quick release pins right here. Now, I really do like the quick release pins because that makes this a universal smartwatch. So as long as you have a smart band with a 22mm strap and it supports the quick release pins, it will work with this watch. But, and this is the but here, I am disabled. I have a lot of dexterity issues, and unclipping and clipping these pins is really difficult for me. So I almost wish that CMF went with a button lock and unlock design as opposed to the quick release pin design. But I understand why they did what they did, because it gives their watch more versatility. Okay? But for me, because of how difficult it is to swap out the watch bands, that drops the build quality and design for me from top notch to really good. Okay? Now moving on, another category that I want to talk about with everyone is the overall fit and feel of the watch. And I want to show y'all how easy it is to put the watch on and take the watch off. Now I'm going to talk about the fit and feel from a third-party customized band perspective and a first-party using the band that comes with the watch perspective. Now, in regards to a third-party watch band perspective, I would have to say it is top-notch because, as I said earlier, all you really have to do at this point is you go out there and you find a watch band that you really like, and as long as it's compatible, you know it's gonna work. So you can see I can just very easily and simply put it on my wrist, line it up, and we're in there, and it fits perfectly. This feels great on my wrist. The fit and feel from third-party watch brands is top-notch, especially if you take the time to get one that you like. That being said, now, talking about the fit and feel, and let me show you how quickly I could take it off. Talking about the fit and feel from the first-party or included watch band perspective, I have to say it is really good, but the one issue that I was having with the first-party watch band is it gets grimy and dirty extremely quickly. So I found that I was spending a large majority of my time cleaning it and trying to keep it clean. Whereas once I found my favorite third-party band, I clean this band probably once a week and I don't have any issues. So in regards to the fit and feel with the first-party band, the included band, it is really good. Not quite top-notch because it does get a little grungy and grimy extremely quickly, so you may potentially spend a large majority of time keeping it clean. But it's still really good overall fit and feel, in my opinion, when we talk about this smartwatch right here. Okay? Now moving on, let's dive into the hardware aspects in more detail, and let's dive into the software aspects of the smartwatch in more detail in regards to the software on the watch itself and the software via the companion application. Now, I know I covered the software pretty much in full detail throughout all of my coverage, but somebody's video, I can't even say it right. Any one particular video can potentially be someone's first video. And in my attempt to make this a full, comprehensive, in-depth review, I want this video to be a one-stop shop for everyone in regards to everything that they need to know about this smartwatch. So I'm going to cover everything in depth in regards to the software, again, in this full review for the watch and the companion application. So if you've been following along with my continued coverage of the CMF Smartwatch Pro, some of this will be like a refresher. You may have seen it before, but this is potentially someone's first time seeing coverage on this watch. So I just want to make sure I cover everything in one video. Okay? This way, for my new people that sit down and like to watch things all the way through, they have everything in one comprehensive video. Okay? So starting off here, let's run down all of the important hardware, and then we're going to go over all of these software aspects of the watch and the application. So hardware wise, the watch itself is made out of aluminum. Okay, so it's aluminum, it's a painted brushed aluminum. Okay, and then in regards to the display up front here, this display is a 1.96 inch AMOLED display, a square AMOLED display. Okay, now it does have always on display functionality. In particular, when we talk about the resolution, it has a resolution of 410 by 502, giving it an overall screen density of 332 pixels per inch. Now it does have a peak brightness that you have to adjust manually of 600 nits. There is no auto brightness or adaptive brightness functionality for the smartwatch, so you will have to manually adjust the brightness via the quick toggles here, or you would have to do it in the settings. I'm going to show y'all how to do this in a little bit here. Okay, but in regards to the brightness, it has a peak brightness of 600 nits. And honestly, using this smartwatch for the 30 days that I haven't had any issues using this watch indoors or outdoors, even in direct sunlight. Haven't had any visibility issues. Okay, no issues whatsoever in terms of visibility for the smartwatch. So that 600 nits brightness, that is more than usable in my opinion. Now, talking about some more important hardware aspects, this watch right here is full IP68 waterproof. That means that you can fully submerge this watch in up to a meter of water or 3 feet of water for 30 minutes and it should work perfectly fine. Now you just want to make sure you dry out the speakers, okay? And you want to make sure you dry off the charging pins before you try to charge it or take phone calls. But as long as you do that, it should work no problem after you fully submerge the watch. Okay? Also, some more important hardware aspects. This watch supports the latest and greatest Bluetooth and Bluetooth 5.3. So you have all the way up to 800 feet of range away from your device in terms of connectivity via Bluetooth with this smartwatch. So really nice to see that even on an inexpensive product, you have the latest and greatest connectivity. Also, more important hardware aspects, we do have a built-in speaker as well as a built-in microphone so you can make and receive phone calls. There is a built-in GPS so you can track your workouts. Now you have to do so manually. You either have to start the workout via the companion application or on board via the watch exercises category to manually start tracking the workout. There is no automatic workout tracking for the smartwatch. I want to make sure I point that out as well. Other than that, some more important hardware aspects. We do have a O2 oxygen sensor. We do have a dedicated heart rate sensor. We do have dedicated step tracking, and we do have dedicated sleep tracking as well. Okay? And in regards to the battery size for this smartwatch is packing a 340 milliamp hour battery. We're going to get into battery life metrics and charge times metrics a little bit later on in the video, but that goes over all of the core hardware aspects of the smartwatch itself. Now, let's go over the software on the smartwatch itself, and then we're going to go over the software on the companion application itself. And I'm going to point out some bugs and quirks that I've experienced as we do this. Now, on the side of the watch, we have the crown/power on button. This only does power on. It does not do power on and power off. It's power on only. And it's not a rotatable crown. It's a single click crown button. Now, once you've turned on the display for the smartwatch, to get to your quick toggles, you swipe down. Okay? This will get to all the necessary relevant quick toggles, like your brightness. You can quickly adjust your brightness from the quick toggles. So that's max brightness. That's minimum brightness. You can also turn off and on your raise to wake functionality. And then you have access to other quick convenient settings like flashlight functionality, battery saver for extended battery life functionality, and then settings to take you into the sub settings for the smartwatch itself. That's all via swiping down from the top. Now if you swipe up, this will bring you into your notification section. So messages, missed phone calls, application notifications, you'll get all of that here. Okay? Now, one thing that I want to point out in regards to notifications, once you tap on it and back out of it, it goes away. But you can't interact with a notification directly from the smartwatch. You still need to pull out your device if you want to interact with a notification. Okay? So although you do have a dedicated speaker and microphone, you can't do like a voice reply to a message or a notification. You still have to pull out your device to do that. Okay? So all this really lets you do is see your notifications and decide if you want to pick up your device and interact with them. Okay? So that's swiping up from the home screen. Now, to get to your tiles or built-in widgets, you want to swipe right to left. Okay? Now, here you go from left to right. We have our activity tracking. We have our heart rate tracking. Okay. We got our weather. Okay. Then we have our sleep tracking. Then we have access to our recent calls, our contacts, and a built-in dialer. You can make phone calls directly from the watch. Okay? That being said, if you don't physically load in your contacts, when you get phone calls, all you're going to see is the phone number come up. If you want to see the phone number and a name come up, you need to physically load into your contacts via the companion application. If you don't, all you're going to see is a phone number when you get a phone call. Okay? I just wanted to point that out. Okay. Now let's talk about some more important software aspects from the smartwatch perspective. Now, the smartwatch does have some built-in applications. To get to that, you have to tap on the crown to get to more applications that's built into the watch. Okay, so we got exercise tracking. We can look at our exercise records. We got the heart rate tracking. We got the blood oxygen. Okay, got the blood oxygen. We got the activity tracking, sleep tracking, stress, phone calls, music controls, camera controls, which do include being able to take photos and start and stop video. Okay, weather, breathing exercises to relieve stress. We do have a dedicated built-in assistant button, but that just ports over the functionality from your connected device. So if you're using an Apple device, that will port over the Siri functionality. If you're using an Android device, that will port over the Google Assistant functionality. Okay, and it's not dedicated on the watch. It's just passing through the functionality from your connected device to the watch. Okay, then we got a stopwatch, timer, alarms, flashlight, find my phone, and settings. Now, another thing that I want to point out is with Find My Phone, you need to have the application open on your device in order for it to ping through the find sound. If you don't have the application open, it won't ping through the sound. Same thing when you go vice versa. So if you're trying to find your watch from the phone, you do need to do it from the application. I do feel like that needs to be improved because I need to be able to find my phone whether I have the application open live or not. Okay? Say that now from phone to watch, I can understand, because if you lose your watch, 9 times out of 10, you're going to open up the application to find it. But watch to phone, that doesn't make sense, okay? This should be running in the background, and if I lose my phone, I should be able to, let me open this up, and let me go find my phone, and it should ring through, and I should be able to find my phone. There's no reason why I need to have the application open on the phone for it to, play the sound so I can find my phone. That doesn't make sense, okay? So CMF, y'all gotta fix that, especially with the fact that you have to toggle keep running in the background to make sure you get all of your notifications and pass through information. So why does that not apply to being able to find my device? I shouldn't have to have the application open on the device to be able to find my device. So that's a negative that I just wanted to point out. Okay? Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into the settings on the watch, and let me highlight some more important things. So if we come down here and we hit settings, now we have access to our watch faces. You can load up more watch faces from the companion application, but you do have access to some built-in watch faces. So these 4, this one, this one, this one, and this one are all built in, and you can't really change them. This is a customizable one that I made, but even though they just released an update to give you the 12-hour standard format or the imperial format, as well as the metric format. The metric format is what they were using out of the box, but they just released an update to give you the imperial format. So now you can use feet, inches, and pounds, or Fahrenheit, as opposed to before on the metric system, you were stuck using kilograms, centimeters, and Celsius. Now with the latest update, you can use Fahrenheit, pounds, inches, and feet. Okay? But for some watch faces, it's still bugged out with the 24-hour format. So they also gave you the ability to use a 12 or 24-hour format, but some of the watch faces, including custom watch faces, are still bugged out with the 24-hour format. Okay, so CMF, you guys got some more tweaking and bug fixing to do, because that should not be like that, because I have it set to the 12-hour format from the application, and it should pass through. Even my device is set to the 12-hour format, so even if it didn't pass through from the application, it should pass through from my connected device. So CMF, y'all got some more bug fixes to do. Okay? Okay. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, let's go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper here. So we covered the watch faces. Now you can also change the layout for the built-in applications. So you can see I like having mine on list view, but you can go to grid view, and then when you go back into your apps, now you have an app grid instead of a list. So if you memorize what icons mean what, it may potentially be faster to have this grid, but I like having a list. So I usually set mine to list view, but you play around with it and you pick the one you like. And then if you want to go back from any particular screen, you just swipe back from left to right, it takes you back. Okay? Now, let's talk about the display and some brightness adjustments and another bug that CMF needs to fix. Now, you can control your brightness from the quick toggles area here. You can control your brightness there, or you can control your brightness from the settings area in display. You can control your brightness here. Okay, there is no automatic or adaptive brightness for the watch. Those are the two ways that you can control the brightness. Okay, you have to manually do it. Then they have automatic display off, which can go from 10 seconds to 20 seconds, or you can have the watch automatically do it. But, and here's the bug that I want to point out, when you activate a display setting, it's supposed to override the other setting. So here, you can also turn on your display. So you can have your display set to stay on for a certain time. And when you do this, you see it gives you the warning, you're going to use up more battery. You go check, okay, yes. And then you can set the display time, right? And this is supposed to override the automatic or quick display off. But in my testing, it doesn't. So you can see now I've turned this on. Okay, this should override the other display setting that I had. So the automatic off after 20 seconds should be off. That one shouldn't go. It should stay on for 20 minutes. Now, it does not do it. It's still bugged, right? It's going to time out after like 20 seconds, even though it should stay on for 20 minutes. That's a bug. CMF, you guys got to fix that. That's a bug y'all have to fix. Okay? So still little bugs that they have to work on and fix. Okay? Next, and this is another thing that I don't like, you only have access to the always on display watch faces from the always on display section on the watch itself. You don't have access to the always on display watch faces and features from the companion application. CMF, we need to have access not only from the watch, but also from the application, and we need more watch faces. Like these are all the always on display watch faces that we have. We need more. Okay? And these are still stuck in the 24-hour military time format. These should go in line with whatever format you have set in the application or passing through on your device. There's no reason why these should still be stuck in military time, but they are. Okay, so that's another bug that I don't like. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. But to turn it on, you would select your watch face, and then you come in here and you can display when it comes on, or you can set it to smart enable. So when the watch thinks it should have it on, it will come on, or you can schedule the specific times that the always on display watch face comes on. Okay? And then if you go close, that will turn it off. Okay? Let's get out of that. And that, guys and gals, goes over those display settings, and those are important display settings. Then we have our sound settings, which also gives you access to your vibration settings under this. So you can set it to silent and then still have it vibrate when you get notifications or phone calls, and that's what I do. And I gotta tell y'all, when you don't have it on silent, it still is pretty loud. Even that quick notification, when I'm getting a notification or a phone call, it does get more than loud enough for me to hear it. And aside from the fact that it is a little bugged out where it doesn't stay open, so it kind of disconnects a lot, when it does work, I never miss a notification. Okay, but it is bugged out to where once it force closes the app from my device, it will disconnect the watch. Even if you have always on run in the background enabled from the application, it will still randomly disconnect the watch when it gets force closed from my device in the applications. Okay, even though it shouldn't, it still does. So that's another bug. But when it works and it's connected, I don't miss any notifications. If I have the sound on or if I just have it on vibrate mode, I don't miss any notifications. But that's how I have it set. So I have it set to silent, but I have it set to vibrate as well. And then if we go down here, you can see the vibration strength. So I have mine set to standard. You got standard, you got strong, and you got off. And strong is actually really strong, okay? But I leave mine on standard. And you can change your languages. We have system settings for the watch. So you can restart the watch from here. You can power off the watch from here. Or you can factory reset the watch from here. Or if you want to pair the watch to a new device, you can do that from the watch itself, as well as you can do that from the companion application. Okay, so there's two ways that you can do that with the CMF Watch Pro. Okay, so that's nice. Then you have access to a barcode to take you to the user manual, as well as it comes with a physical user manual, and you also have a digital user manual inside of the companion application itself. And then the about section, this gives you the relevant about information. So the model number, the device name, Bluetooth metrics, so on and so forth. Okay, and that goes over all of the relevant settings that you need to know for your CMF Watch Pro. Okay, now let's go over the companion application. Okay, so whether you're using an iOS device or an Android device, you want to go to the app store of your choice and get this app right here, the CMF Watch application. Now, CMF did, as I said earlier, release an update to add the new features, and you do need to make sure that you update the app itself. Okay, so here's the update. Go to the Play Store or the Google or the iOS App Store and update the app itself, as well as you want to go inside of the application and update the application inside the application. So when you update the application inside the application, that physically updates the watch. And then when you go to the app store of your choice, that updates the app software for your particular device. Okay? And it tells you you will gain all these features when you do these two notifications. Okay? Or you do these two updates. And in particular, when you do the update for the watch itself, the watch needs to be at least 20% battery life or battery percentage. Okay? So I just wanted to show y'all that I did get the most recent update. And shout out to a new subscriber and a viewer on the channel, because he left his feedback on one of my extended coverage videos. Then I was able to reshare my video, tag CMF, and they got back to him in a timely fashion, and then he got back to me and let me know that the update was out. So before I even could check the update on my device, thanks to that viewer and new subscriber, I knew that the update was out. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate the expediency that CMF has been getting back to its new customers. You love to see that, especially from an up-and-coming company. All right? But now, let's dive into the companion application itself. So let's load this up, and let's talk about it. So by default, when you load it up, it connects your device, to the watch, and this is the main home screen, right? And it tracks your exercises that you have to manually start. And you can see I've done about 5 of them. Okay, done about 5 of them. I'm going to do another one today, so there will be 6. And it will give you all of your metrics for these workouts. Okay, you could tap on it, you can see your heart rate, you can see how long you went, you can see the distance. All of these metrics is in here, as well as your calories burnt. Okay, and then other than that, it tracks your stress, it tracks your blood oxygen level, it tracks your sleep, and it tracks your heart rate. Now I don't have the watch on, that's why it's not giving you the heart rate tracking. But that's the first screen here when you open the application. The next screen is how you would manually start a workout from the application. Now, I'm not going to show you that screen because it does have my location information on it, but that's the next screen here with the guy running. That's how you would manually start workouts from the application. That one right there with the guy running. The screen after that, this is how you would manage your watch faces, your notifications, your workouts. You program your contacts into the watch so you get names and phone numbers, and all of that good stuff here is all from this screen right here. Okay, and then if you wanted to do watch faces, you would tap on this gallery here, and these are all your recommended watch faces, and then these are all the ones that I've downloaded and a few custom ones. All right, and CMF, we need more watch faces, and we need more customizable watch faces. Okay, but if you have commonly used workouts that you do often, you can load them up in the app, and those will be at the top of your exercises screen on the watch. So I just loaded up my most used workouts, and that's when I tap on the exercises section, these are the ones that move to the top instead of me having to scroll through all of them. Okay, I just have the ones that I do often at the top. So you can customize that here. And then your notifications here, this is self-explanatory. Now you do want to make sure that you have these 3 options toggled inside of your notifications, and any other third-party app that it supports, you want to make sure that it's toggled. And if you use Apple Health, you want to make sure you toggle Sync Apple Health here. Or if you want to get notifications from other applications, toggle that there and you'll get all your notifications. Okay? So that's that inside of the notifications tab. And then these are pretty much self-explanatory. Alarms, more, so raise to wake, do not disturb, find my device. So if you lost your watch and you wanted to find it, you would come in here to the more section and click find my device to find the watch. Okay, and then this is also where you could toggle off and on raise to wake inside of the app, so you can do it from the watch and you can also do it from the app. Okay, and then let me show y'all something else. So we got a full featured user manual in here, user guide, user manual, full featured, everything you need to know is in here. Okay, so if you don't want to scan the barcode, you can still open the companion application. We got the updates, we got the about, and then we can factory reset the watch from the application. We can untether the watch from the application. And then let me show y'all where you would go if you want to change your metrics. So you would go over here to the profile tab, okay? And then this is what you need to check to make sure it's always syncing in the background. And when this is checked, it should always pass through, right? And so this is where I say CMF, it doesn't make sense that it's always on pass through, but I can't find my phone unless the app is open on the phone. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay? But if you want to switch your metrics, you come in here and you click this gear icon up at the top right, and now we have access to switching our time format. So you can see by default, if you toggle this on, that gives you the military 24-hour time format. If you toggle it off, it gives you the 12-hour format. Then you can sync your Apple Health again. Okay. You got your user agreement, you got your privacy policy, you got your open source licensing information, and then your units. So you can manually set your units. So you can see by default, it was set to metric units. So we had centimeters and kilometers. And I switched it to imperial units, so feet and miles. By default, we had kilograms. I switched it to pounds. And by default, we had Celsius. I switched it to Fahrenheit. And when you do the switch, it does take a little bit of time for it to sync over through the watch. Okay? But that's where you would change your units. Okay? And that, guys and gals, pretty much goes over everything that you need to know about the companion application itself. Okay? And I already pointed out to y'all another bug that I don't like, and that's the fact that it randomly disconnects from the watch all the time, even though I have background syncing turned on. I would have to say in my month with the watch, it randomly disconnected at least 12 times. So there was times where I didn't get notifications till I resynced it, or I looked at my phone, and it shouldn't be like that. So CMF, y'all got some more optimization and bugs to fix, okay? But that goes over the software from the watch perspective, and that goes over the software from the companion application perspective, okay? Now let's move on to some more important categories. Up next now, let's talk about the overall battery life and the overall charge times of the watch itself. And before I talk about my particular results and give y'all my opinions, let me run through the manufacturer's estimates. So as I said earlier, this smartwatch here has a 340 milliamp hour battery, and CMF is claiming that if you use it in power saving mode, you can get 45 days on a single charge. If you're using it in regular usage mode or heavy usage, depending on your usage style, so with everything running, depending on how you have it set up, you're going to get anywhere from 11 to 13 days on a single charge. If you're doing something where you're always pinging the GPS, you're going to get a little bit over 24 hours of usage. So CMF is claiming that you should be able to get anywhere from a day to up to 45 days on a single charge, depending on what you're doing with the watch. Okay? Now, let's talk about my particular results. So I tested this from a light usage scenario and a standard heavy usage scenario. So with light usage, I turned off the raise to wake. I turned off the always on display, and the only way I interacted with the watch is via pushing the power button. Okay? And with that light usage, I was easily able to get between 10 and 11 days on a single charge. Okay? With regular heavy usage, I am a heavy user, so I got a lot of notifications, I got a lot of phone calls, things of that nature pushing. With regular heavy usage, with raise to wake on, but always on display turned off, I easily get between 7 to 8 days on a single charge. Now, with always on display turned on, with raise to wake turned on, and everything pushing, I can get anywhere from 3 to 5 days. Okay? But for me, what I would recommend if you want to use more on my usage style is you just turn off always on display and you leave on raise to wake, and you have your things pushing, and you should easily be able to get between 7 and 8 days. That's what I got, and I'm an extremely heavy user. And if you're a lighter user, you should be able to get better than that. But I was a little sad because try as I might, I could not get that 13-day battery life. I did hit the 11-day battery life, but that was during my light usage test. Okay? So raise to wake was off, always on display was off, and again, I only interacted with the watch by pushing the power button / crown button. And then I got the 11 days of battery life. Okay? So that goes over my results in regards to the battery life. Now let's talk charge times. Now, for my testing, and I've done a bunch of battery test videos, y'all can check them out on the channel. I'll have them linked up down below in the video description, along with the affiliated buy links and all of my extended coverage on all of the CMF products. All of that will be linked up down below in the video description. But in my testing, the watch takes anywhere from 1 hour and 45 minutes to just over 2 hours to reach a full charge, depending on the battery percentage that the watch is at when you put it on the charger. Okay? And one thing I have to say I really don't like is the magnetic charging pins. Oh, I have to really fight with that when it's time to charge the watch. So CMF, if y'all can like integrate a USB Type-C port into somewhere on the watch in the next generation to make it to where we don't have to fight with that magnetic charge connector, that would make it so much easier. Please try and figure out a way to do that. But I do not like the magnetic charging connector. It's a hassle when you have to line it up and make sure it magnetizes. But when you get a good connection, that's how fast it charges. So 1 hour and 45 minutes to just over 2 hours to reach a full charge. Okay? Now, let's get into another important category. Let's talk durability. Now, I've been using this watch for just about 30 days. It's now the 18th. Officially, I would have been using the watch for 30 days on the 19th. So tomorrow makes it the 19th. I'm recording this a day early because I'm going to drop the video tomorrow. But yeah, I've been using this watch for pretty much 30 days. And in terms of the durability, I got 2 scratches where I scratched off the paint. So I scratched off the paint right here on this side, just above the crown. And I scratched off the paint right here on this other side, directly across from that. And that is because I am extremely clumsy. And from day one, as soon as I put the watch on, as soon as I left the house, I banged it up against my car door. And I was like, ooh. I looked at it, didn't scratch. Okay? And I am extremely clumsy. So I banged it on my desk here. I banged it on gym equipment. I banged it on my car multiple times. And in my 30 days of usage, I only have those 2 scratches to the paint. Okay? So in terms of durability, that leads me to say the overall durability for the watch is top notch. But if you want to extend the life of your watch, I do recommend you invest in a case if you can find one, and a screen protector if you can find one. I'm gonna do some deep research after I record this full review, and I'll link up down below what I can find in regards to cases and screen protectors for the CMF Watch Pro. But in terms of the durability, regular daily usage with no protection, I would have to say it's top notch in terms of durability, but you still want to be extremely careful, right? Next, I just want to point out before I get up out of here, the phone call quality and the volume on here was really good, okay? In quiet environments when I took phone calls, no issues. Even in crowded environments or while driving when I took phone calls, it was a little bit difficult to hear, but I could still take the phone call with no issue. And when I say while driving, I usually drive with the windows down, so I got a lot of airflow, there's a lot of traffic, and I still was able to take phone calls and hear the caller on the other end, and they heard me, no problem. But there were those rare instances where I had my wrist down, or I had the mic muffled and callers said they couldn't hear me. Then I just had to angle up my wrist and they could hear me no problem. So call quality on here is actually good, okay? Now, let's get into the final category for this review. Let's talk pricing. Let me talk overall availability. Let me get into my final thoughts, and let me make overall recommendations. Now, in regards to the pricing, I got this watch pretty much when it launched in the US, okay? So I got the cheapest price that you were able to get the watch for. Now, CMF, when they launched the product at the event, they were saying it was going to be starting price $65. No. Starting price in the US was $89. Okay? After taxes, it came up to $95 and change. I'll have my screenshot of my digital receipts for the watch itself, the earbuds, the charger, and the 2 bands that I picked up, so y'all know exactly what I paid for all of the CMF products that I did coverage on. Okay? But for the watch itself, it was $89 before taxes, and it came up to just over $95 after taxes. Okay? Now, let's jump on Amazon and check the live listing. So give me a little bit here. Let me check the live listing. So let me go CMF Watch Pro by nothing. Right now, it's on sale for $85. But I've seen it go as high as $99. Okay? So right now it's on sale for $85. That doesn't include taxes. Okay? But I've seen it go as high as $99. Again, that doesn't include taxes. But the screenshot I showed y'all does include the taxes that I paid. So for that price, between, you can call it $85 to $100, can I recommend that y'all pick this smartwatch up from CMF, a sub-brand of nothing? I would have to say yes, as long as you keep in mind all of the negatives that I pointed out throughout this video, and those negatives are not deal breakers for you. I do feel as though this smartwatch is definitely a good deal. And it does offer a lot, especially at the price point that it's coming in at. And when I say a lot, to get a relevant smartwatch from a more known brand like Google or Apple or Samsung, you're going to be paying at least $40 to $60 more, right? Prime example, if you want to stay in Android land and you were going with something like a Galaxy Watch, that's going to run you anywhere from about $80 to $130. And that's shopping in the used or refurbished section of Amazon, right? Same rules apply if you want to get something akin to the similar performance in iOS land or Apple land. Then you're looking at the Apple Watch SE. That's going to run you anywhere from $150 to $185. Okay? And that will give you similar features and specifications to the CMF Watch Pro, which is giving you that at almost a third of the price, coming in at $85 to $100. So it is very competitive, comparing it up to some of its more well-known competition. Even if you want to go with lesser known, well-known competition like some of the Amazon brands like the Amazfit brand or the Fitbit brand or the Google Fitbit brand, it's still very competitive in terms of pricing in that nature, because if you go with Amazfit from Amazon, you're looking at paying anywhere from $80 to about $110. And if you're going Google Fitbit land, you're looking at paying anywhere from $100 to $135. So it is very competitive. And again, I can recommend that you guys and gals pick it up if you're in the market for a full-featured, inexpensive smartwatch. Okay? That being said, that does it for today's video. I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video. I hope you guys and gals found it helpful. If you did, please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. If you would like to see more content like this, also please consider hitting that subscribe button down below, and make sure you click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. If this video piqued your interest and you guys and gals would like to know where you can pick up any and everything featured in the video, or you would like to see more extended coverage on all of the products from CMF by nothing, I'll link up all of my extended coverage as well as the affiliated buy links for everything featured in the video, or everything, all of my coverage from CMF. I'll link up all of that down below in the video description. And as the name implies, when you use the affiliated buy links to make your purchase, I do get a small percentage of commission that I do put back into the channel at no additional cost to you guys and gals. So down below in the video description will be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. Recording this video here today, I am using the rear-facing primary camera on the Samsung Galaxy S10e. This whole video has been recorded in 1080p with no external microphone hooked up, but I am using my professional studio lights here today. So please let me know what you think of the overall video quality, as well as what you think of the overall audio quality down below. As always, all your feedback is greatly appreciated. Okay, now for the all-important question. Am I going to be keeping this smartwatch for the long haul? Well, yes I am. And now I'm getting ready to retest this smartwatch again, connecting it up to my Android device. So as I alluded to in my previous coverage, this first initial review was reviewing the device from an iOS user's perspective. The second and final review will be reviewing the device from an Android user's perspective. So after I finish this video, I'm going to go ahead and unsync it from my iOS device, and I'm going to pair it up and sync it to my Google device, and then we're going to start testing it all over again. This way I can give y'all a full review from both aspects, from an iOS user perspective and from an Android user perspective. And this also lets me see if I get as many bugs and disconnects on Android as I got on iOS. Hopefully I'm getting less bugs and less disconnects on Android, but you never know. So y'all stay tuned for part 2, which is a full review from an Android user's perspective, coming soon. Alright, hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video. Hope you guys and gals found it helpful. Hope everyone is staying safe out there, and I will catch everyone in the next one. Have a good one, everybody. We are out of here. Peace. Oh, and don't forget, because this video is over 35 minutes, it will be timestamped for your convenience. So please feel free to check out the timestamps in the video description so you can jump around to different parts of the video that you would like to know more about. Or you can do your boy a solid and just sit down and watch the whole thing all the way through, and then you would know everything that you need to know in regards to when it comes to the CMF Watch Pro. Alright, y'all know how that go. Alright, we are out of here. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.